fix this real quick. What's happening? So, I snagged an article saying that Reggie Fils-Aimé, I guess, Nintendo boss, says VR is not that fun. Well, I can't say I disagree here. The numbers, the sales would actually agree with this. Regardless of how you feel about Reggie Fils-Aimé or the Nintendo boss, whoever that may be, the picture shows Reggie Fils-Aimé. So I'm saying he said it more than likely. Anyway, he probably isn't wrong, okay? Now, you might have a personal favorite, I don't know. I don't know that many people who have VR. This is why, and more than not likely why, he says that. The numbers don't lie. Look at it. PlayStation VR still sits in below 5% of PlayStation 4 owners' homes, okay? Not a lot of people own a PSVR. More people own the PS4. I think more people own the PS Vita than the PSVR at this point. Not a lot of people own the HTC Vive. More people own the HTC Vive than the PSVR. I think more people own the Oculus Rift than the PSVR. I think more people. I know more people own the Samsung VR headset because at one point they were giving that away with the Samsung Galaxy 8. But not a lot of people have adopted VR. It's not well received at all. So I have to agree with his statement, and I don't really say it's because it's not fun. My biggest reason for agreeing with his statement is, have you ever tried to actually go and try a VR headset? Have you ever tried to just go and be like, hey, I'm really interested in buying a VR headset. Would you mind if I demoed it before I paid all this money for the headset? And I know Samsung is relatively cheap. Hell, I'm about to get one myself when I upgrade my phone. And it's going to cost me about $30. Now, aside from the Samsung headset, because you can demo those. You can walk into a telephone store and demo those. But if you ever tried to walk into a GameStop or a Target or a Best Buy where you could buy PSVR or HTC Vive or even Oculus, have you ever walked into one of those and been like, hey man, I'm ready to throw down $1,000 on this because I need a bomb-ass PC to go with this so it'll fucking work? But would you mind if I demoed it before I bought it and gave you all this money that I worked so hard to get? More than likely, you're not going to be able to. Do you know how you have to go about just to demo one of those things? You have to go to these conventions, like when I went to Dragon Con a couple of weeks ago. If you ever want to demo a VR headset, you have to go to conventions and pay money just to demo the fucking thing. Again, I'm not saying that there's not real fun games. I don't know. I've never played on them. The only thing I've ever played on, again, is a Samsung VR headset. Again, that was free for a lot of people who upgraded their phone to the Galaxy 8. I think Google's headset is free when you buy their fucking fucking phone. I'm not sure, but what I'm saying is, due to the fact that you can't just walk into a regular ass store like GameStop or Target or Best Buy or wherever the fuck you can buy these things at, you can't just walk in there, throw the damn thing on your face, and play it for 10 minutes or 5 minutes or however long, and just see if it's worth it. So I agree with him on saying, okay, it's not fun because of the simple fact you can't demo it, and because you can't demo it, the sales are hurting. Yes, that does hurt sales when you can't demo it. Notice, if you walk into a Walmart, a Target, a Best Buy, a fucking GameStop, you have a demo station set up for PlayStation 4, the Vita, the damn Xbox One. There was even a demo for the Wii U. These all had demo stations which would make it to where you could go put your hands on it and play it, making it to where you would be like, okay, this is fun, this is entertaining for me, I'm really enjoying myself, I'm going to throw down my hard-earned money to pay for it. You can't do that with VR. They're asking you to spend hundreds of dollars on something blindly, and when you do that, unfortunately, you're going to have a hard time selling that. I don't care what it is. Here, sir, I promise you this item will bring you tons of joy. but it costs $700, $800, $900. Well, can I try it? No. You have to give me $900 tops, and then you can play with it. Nobody's gonna do that. Not a well thought out person. Even the PlayStation VR. I mean, it came with so many things before it was launched that had people scratching their head going, maybe this isn't worth the price cut, because yes, it's cheaper, but are you hearing the list of bullshit you have to put up with? If you want to play it, it'll work with the PS4, but it's gonna be weaker. So I have to buy a Pro for it to be the full-on VR experience, to be the best that it can be. That wasn't a big turn on for a lot of people, because then it relatively became the same price as the others. And then you had the laundry list of no game, no game, no game. Hey, an exclusive game that then turned into shared. No game, no game, no game. And that's a problem. And again, I agree with him here. It's not that it's not fun. It's developers have fallen into this. If it doesn't sell, we're not going to create any content for it. And unfortunately, the bad part of that is you have to get on to the people who make these. If you don't put the product out there for the consumer to try so you can actually move units, we can't create anything, because we're not going to waste our time creating something that's just not going to sell. Well, why aren't they buying it? Because you can't try it. You're stuck in this little loop, circle around here, like fucking a racetrack, if you will, where you're like, please buy our product, and the consumer's like, fuck out of here, you're not letting me try it. Please buy our product. If you let me try it, I'll buy it. No, please buy it blindly. It's only this much money, and the average gamer does not have that much money to spend all at one time. Oh, but there's been a price drop. Fuck you. It's still not worth it because there's nothing to fucking play. Please buy it after the price drop. No, because there's still nothing to play. But developers will only make games if you buy it. No, because I've not been able to try it when you release the game. It's a vicious cycle, and there's no end to it because of the simple fact you wouldn't let us try it. Do you see what I'm saying? And again, I agree with him. His wording may be wrong. I don't know. I'm not talking about that. And I know a lot of people are going to get in their emotions and feel some type of way because it's Nintendo. But again, it could be any of the companies, HTC Vive, Oculus Rift, or PlayStation VR. It doesn't matter. Again, the PlayStation VR still sits below 5%. That's a big fucking problem. They've sold over 60 million PS4s, and it's still below 5% of PS4 owners owning a PlayStation VR due to that vicious cycle. I don't want to pay over what I paid for the PS4 for VR when VR is just not that fucking impressive. And they bit off more than they could chew with that, and it's very blatantly obvious. And they're not even acknowledging it. They're just not. They're like, oh, don't fucking talk about that because reasons. They're going to call us out if we do. No, I'm already calling you out. It's obvious. You bit off more than you could chew. But if you would have demoed the fucking thing, you probably would have been able to meet that goal and exceed that goal. HTC Vive and fucking Oculus, you know what you did wrong by demanding your customer base own a massive monster of a PC that probably only NASA could build, and then saying, oh, well, the price is only a couple $100. Yeah. You know how many people have a NASA-type computer that want a fucking Oculus headset or HTC Vive that you have to then rearrange your whole fucking house for just to be able to use? Not that fucking many. So again, they all made mistakes. And then the gaming library is not that big because, again, you can't fucking demo these things. I'm telling you, if you could demo them, it would be different. And then again, when you can demo them, you got to phony up money to play with them just for a few minutes, which is not a very big turn on to a lot of people when you have to pay $50 to go to Dragon Con for one day, and then you got to phony up more money just to play with the fucking headsets. That's not a turn on to people. That turns them away from your products. I mean, think about it. Would you pay somebody to play a PS4 before you bought it? No. Would you pay someone to play an Xbox One before you bought it? No. VR is no different. I understand. Well, you're putting it on your face. There's a whole lot of problems that could come up and, be an issue. There's ways around that. It's called cleaning it. It's called taking care of it. And it's called hiring somebody to do those things. Stores act like this is a big fucking deal, but they have employees that clean the store every fucking night. So it's not that big of a fucking problem if they just did this one fucking detail. So again, that's why. And like I said, I agree with him. And if you don't agree with him and it's just because, well, Nintendo said it, you're a fucking idiot. Okay? And I know a lot of people are going to be like, oh, well, unsubscribe because of that. You're fooling yourself. Know that. You are fooling yourself. Again, numbers here in this situation don't lie. VR has not caught on, and that is exactly why. You can't demo it, and again, people don't buy it because they can't demo it. If you can't demo it and play with it yourself, being hands-on experience, are you going to buy something that's as expensive as VR? And you can say, oh, well, PSVR isn't that expensive. Again, PSVR is a dummy version if you have a normal PlayStation like I have. But if you want the full experience, you need the Pro. So it still costs the same as an Oculus Rift or a HTC Vive at the end of that purchase, which is something people have been talking about since it first came out. So think about that. You want the full PSVR experience, you need a PlayStation 4 Pro, and then you got to buy the $500 pack itself. Fuck out of here. And you can't demo it. You cannot. You can't demo it. You can't go to GameStop and be like, let's play this for 5 minutes, make up my mind there, and put the money on the table. Can't do it. That's what's hurting this thing. That's what's hurting all VR. And until they get that fixed, and until they get some demo units out there where it's a normal thing to where I can walk in somewhere and just demo it, that's not a fucking telephone store like Verizon or AT&T to play with a Samsung Galaxy headset, VR is going to suffer. And you say, that's just your opinion. Yeah, it is my opinion. But name 5, 10, 20 people who bought VR in the last week. I'll give you a week. Chances are you can't. Word of mouth for VR is slim to none. Take it with a grain of salt, whatever you want to, but that's just the way it is.